I'm Aaron Graber with Ventrac, and this video is all about trailering Ventrac equipment. We get a lot of questions about this topic, and probably the most important question is, what length trailer do I need? So we figured we'd come out to the yard here, load up a bunch of different trucks and trailers, throw a bunch of different equipment combinations on it, and show how things nest together so that you can have a good idea of what your needs call for. We've got a 20-foot deck over trailer. We've got a standard 18-foot trailer with wheel wells. We also have a 12-foot trailer. We have 3 different truck sizes, 4 different tractors, and a handful of attachments all put together to show you what each configuration looks like and what you need to know if you're going to be hauling Ventrac tractors and attachments. It's also important to mention that we are not doing any work today, which means we're not driving these vehicles anywhere. They were all stationary before we started loading. You will need to strap the equipment appropriately. Pay attention to how we recommend in the manual and your DOT regulations for your local area. We don't have anything strapped today because we're not going anywhere. This is only for demonstration purposes, how the equipment sits on those trailers. We're going to get started at the smallest truck and trailer where we have 1 Ventrac and 1 attachment. This is the simplest setup we have today. This is a single axle landscape trailer. It's 12 feet long, and between these rails is 6.5 feet. We have 1 tractor, single wheels, a tough cut, and a canopy. The bulk of the weight of this setup is going to be kind of right here over this front axle. You've got a lot of weight of the engine. The front half of the tractor weighs more than the back half, and the deck is pretty heavy as well. So in total, this setup probably weighs somewhere in the order of 2,200 pounds, which is well within reason for this trailer, well within reason for this rig, but making sure that that weight is appropriately distributed over the axle is important. All of our mower decks do flip up, so if you need to get yourself an extra bit of space, if I flip this tough cut up, I'm gonna have another 1.5 to 2 feet probably. And that's also worth mentioning that if I did that, I would have more space on the front of the trailer for a second attachment if I had to. If I was just taking something simple like a power bucket or a straight blade that doesn't occupy a lot of space, I could definitely get that on this 12-foot trailer if I had the deck flipped up. This is a great size comparison. It highlights what's possible from a size perspective. That wraps up the small setup. We are going to move on to the medium setup next. All right, we are here at trailer number 2, and this one presents a few more things to talk about. This is an 18-foot trailer. Both of these next trailers, 2 and 3, are 8 feet wide, so this is kind of your standard full-size trailer width. This second trailer is more of a typical equipment or landscape style trailer that has wheel wells, so you have to get between them. We specifically put the tractor that has dual wheels on this trailer to highlight that they can get through standard wheel wells. And then also we put the Wham on the front of this tractor to show that it cannot get through standard wheel wells unless you have it on the rear 3-point. So behind this tractor, we have 2 separate attachments. It happens to be the turbine blower and the stump grinder. We picked those because those are a good variety, something you might go out and work with in combination with a deck like this. But it could be any 2 attachments really. You'll see the total trailer space is pretty open up here. So an 18-foot by 8-foot trailer has a fair bit of extra room when this configuration is on it. And so you could probably either squeeze another small attachment onto the trailer or orient them slightly differently and get a larger attachment than the stump grinder. That is up to you. The reason we're showing the wide area mower on the front of the tractor backed on the trailer like this is because that's the only way that it fits in standard configuration. If you try to drive on the trailer, the back roller of this deck will contact this face of the wheel well because the front hitch arms can't lift it high enough. It's a pretty common question we get about hauling this deck, but we wanted to show how easy it is to just back on the trailer. It is worth mentioning that in order to do this, you need 4 feet of clearance from the back of the wheel wells to the edge of the trailer. If you have any less than that, if your trailer's laid out differently or the axles are in a different place, then you won't be able to get the front caster wheels of the Wham on, reversing the tractor on like this. The other way that you can get a wide area mower on this type of trailer is on the rear 3-point with a 3-in-1. So if your tractor's equipped that way, you get a lot more lift height, and you can either back the deck on and put it at the front of the trailer, or drive the whole machine on, put the other attachments at the front, and have the Wham behind the tractor sitting in this same place. When you're using a Ventrac that has the ability to put an attachment on the front or back like this one does, we always recommend to never have an attachment on the back without an attachment on the front. So using this machine, I dropped all of the attachments outside of the trailer first, and I loaded it with attachments only on the front of the tractor. And then when I was done with the front 2, I put the Wham on the front of the tractor and backed it on. If I was gonna leave the Wham on the back of the tractor, then what I would want to do is wait to hook it up until I had those other 2 on the trailer. That way the tractor's stable enough to drive up and down these ramps. Another observation on weight distribution, with this trailer, we've got tandem axles, means that you typically want the tractor itself above those two axles, pretty well centered in between them. Our attachments range from being a few hundred pounds in weight to almost 1,000 pounds. These three attachments represent pretty average numbers. So you've got a WAM that's fairly heavy, you've got a turbine blower that's a little bit lighter, and a stump grinder that's somewhere in there as well. Typically, I would say imagine somewhere between 500 and 700 pounds for your average attachment. We already talked about the tractor and the fact that it's 1,700 pounds. So this whole trailer weight, aside from the trailer itself, the equipment on it, you're looking at somewhere between 3,800 pounds. Just as a reference point, obviously reference the manuals for exact numbers, but as a reference point, that's what one tractor with 3 attachments is gonna weigh. And keep that in mind when you're thinking about capacity, trailers, axles, truck to pull it with, all of that stuff. Let's go to the largest trailer now. It's the one with the most equipment on it and the one that I'm most excited to talk about. Okay, we are here at the final setup. This is the largest trailer with the most equipment on it. This is my favorite trailer to use when we're out using equipment, going all over the place, and it's because there are as few restrictions as possible. This is a 20-foot long trailer. Again, this is standard 8-foot wide, but this is a deck over trailer, so we don't have any wheel wells. It allows you to have the most amount of equipment in the most possible configurations on it. On this trailer, and we have used every single inch of it, so it's a good example, we have 2 tractors. The first tractor that you see obviously has the loader on it with a standard bucket. Behind that, we have a power rake. On that power rake, we took the front wheels off so that we had more space to pack machines in, and then we put those wheels on the side of the trailer next to the power rake. Next to that back tractor, we have a power bucket. This is a pretty representative equipment package if you had 2 operators and you're gonna go out and do some serious dirt moving and leveling. We would take that power rake and we would put the power bucket on the 3-point on the back of that tractor, and then have this tractor with the loader on it, both shuttling material, working with it, leveling it. So this is a highly productive package. Obviously, since this is the largest trailer with the most equipment on it, we need a big truck. So for this one, we have a 2,500 size diesel, and you're gonna need every bit of it. Every time I pull this much equipment, you really want those large truck sizes. So don't skimp on the truck. It's probably also worth mentioning, if you're gonna commit to this size of trailer in the first place, it doesn't hurt to go 22 or 24 feet. 20 feet is just enough for 2 tractors and an attachment on each one, or maybe 3 attachments. But if you really want that 4th or maybe 5th attachment, getting an extra couple feet on the trailer can't hurt. Another cool feature of a trailer like this that has a smooth deck over the top is that when you're using a tractor with a loader on it, you can load from the side if you want. So with the loader, if you're taking multiple loader tools with you, then sometimes it's easiest just to load those from the side, especially at the front of the trailer, so that you can get them in sideways and then worry about getting your tractor and the rest of your machinery on behind it. One final highlight on this trailer is how tightly packed it is. Do not be afraid to treat this like a puzzle. When you have multiple pieces of equipment, multiple tractors, sometimes you'll need to put things next to each other, over, under, however it goes. As long as you're not rubbing on anything and there's no clearance issues, it'll just help you get more equipment on the trailer. Armed with all of that information, there's a few key takeaways I want everybody to come away from this video with. First of all, whatever equipment you have, truck and trailer, you are probably going to be able to haul some level of Ventrac equipment. Also, if you have a huge Ventrac fleet, it is possible to take multiple machines and multiple attachments on your average size trailers. Finally, the capability of our tractor is uniquely matched to the towing equipment that you have. The FAR trailer, the largest one with the 2 tractors and dirt moving equipment, is something akin to what a skid steer and a mini excavator would look like. The problem is, with those types of equipment, you may need to go to bigger vehicles and bigger trailers. So we're able to get a lot of work done, a lot of capabilities with our tractors and attachments, all in a very compact package, which makes it easier to load, tow, and deliver to those work sites. And of course, we always want to talk about the fact that you need this ability to get more stuff on a single trailer, because with Ventrac, we have so many different attachments that you can do so many different jobs in one shot. It makes sense to get it all there at the same time. One of the highlights of our equipment is that the tractor and attachments themselves nest together in a very tight package, so you can end up getting more of that equipment on one single trailer. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you found it informative. I think we did a pretty decent job of showing the whole spectrum of tow equipment and putting Ventracs on trailers in different configurations. If there's anything we missed though, be sure to leave a comment below, we'll get you an answer. Also, make sure to follow us on all the rest of the social platforms. If there's anything that you wanna see, let us know and we'll shoot it in the future.